Are you a mother who's looking for a legitimate job opportunity that's going to allow you to stay home with your babies and still earn a decent income? If so, make sure you stay tuned, because in this video I'm going to be discussing with you guys what I believe are the 7 best remote jobs in 2023 for mothers. Hey guys, my name is Lillian and I am a soon-to-be mother who's looking to help other mothers find opportunities to allow themselves to work from home, because I see how beneficial it is for me, even though I haven't given birth yet, but I know how beneficial it will be once my baby is here. So I'm looking to help other mothers who are interested in working from home, whether it be through a W-2 job, freelance work, or a full-blown business, so more moms can stay at home and spend more times with their families. Now, I haven't officially announced it on social media yet, but I officially announcing it here on YouTube. I am a soon-to-be mother, and I have kind of structured myself to this point to be able to stay at home. Right now I am working a W-2 job, but it is fully remote, which is really helpful, and I just figured I'd do this because I know that no matter what, I want to stay home to some capacity to be able to be with my children. And I know this will really help other moms, because I know there's a lot of moms out there who are looking for different ways to be able to stay at home, whether it's with their newborns or their older children. So with that being said, that's a big announcement on my part, and I'm really looking forward to being a mom, and I'm really looking forward to working together and highlighting other moms who are also working from home and how it has been beneficial for them thus far. So these jobs I'm going to tell you guys about today, W-2 jobs that you can work full-time or part-time. Now it's up to you to decide whether, it's necessary for you to work full-time, or if you do want to, just work part-time. They're not businesses. They can be side hustles, but they're definitely W-2 jobs. And the best part about these jobs is that they can actually equip you with the proper skills to actually start freelancing, and if you want, build your own business. And what I believe when it comes to skills, especially in today's society, is that you need to look for skills that will allow you to learn and that will directly translate into being able to start your own business if that's what you wanted to do. Because honestly, we are living in the gig economy, which means that a lot of people are making money through just contract work, different gigs, one-off jobs. So if you have the ability to make some money individually aside from your job based on a service you can provide, I would always recommend being able to learn that skill so you have that opportunity. And the reason for this is because, as we saw in the pandemic, one income is really too close to no incomes. So we got to get our skills up, ladies. And listen, if you're in a position where you don't have to work at all, more power to you. That's eventually the goal. But as of right now, if you need to get a full-time job or a part-time job or just freelance a little bit to help yourself and your family out, then definitely don't feel bad about doing that. So some things that I was considering when I was looking for a remote job is that I wanted my hours to be flexible. I wanted a 100% remote job. I didn't want a hybrid schedule. I wanted a flexible workload. I didn't want to deal with anything with too many online meetings or anything that I had to be on the phone for too long. And of course, a job that doesn't necessarily require me to have complete silence in the background, because of course, having like newborns or smaller babies, you'll definitely be hearing noise in the background. So the first job on the list is a blogger/writer. Now I know you guys have heard about blogging plenty and plenty of times, but it's not just something that you could do independently and freelance. You actually can be a full-time writer for companies, and this is a really good opportunity because you basically get paid to write for a website or like an online journal like a blog, if you're not doing it for yourself. So I mean, there's a lot of different benefits when it comes to this. And the good thing about blogging is that as long as there are search engines on the web like Google and Bing, bloggers will always have a job, regardless of what we're hearing in today's society about AI, artificial intelligence taking over jobs. It's here to assist us and complement us, not completely replace us. So it's important that you're not fearful of artificial intelligence, but that you learn to actually use it to enhance the content that you're creating. Now, blogging, you don't need any hard skills to get started. You really just need the ability to type and think. And some people can't think well, but if you can think well, if you can creatively think, there's many different avenues of writing that you can get into. You can get into copywriting, which is, like sales copy and persuasive writing that can, entice people to buy a product, or like I said earlier, blog writing, which is like, more informative content that you're putting on a website. Now you will eventually need to learn SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is basically understanding how humans search for information on the web. So being able to understand different keywords that people are searching to basically rank these companies' websites. So it's a little bit of information that you will have to learn, or a little bit of a skill set you will have to learn, but it's really not that hard. I mean, it's like anything, as long as you're dedicated to understanding it, you can definitely learn it. And the median pay for a blogger is around $50,000. So again, this is a skill that you can work for a company, or you can utilize it to freelance and eventually start your own business. And that's going to be the trend for for all 7 of these jobs that I'm gonna give you guys today. Now, the next job that I think that are great for mothers is becoming a virtual assistant. And this is just someone who handles pretty much the administrative duties for a company or an individual. And this is really good because, again, this is one of those jobs that you're not really expected to like be on calls all day, so you could kind of have noise in the background from the babies if necessary and still get your work done. Pretty much you'll be doing administrative tasks like I mentioned, like responding to emails, you know, scheduling travel for the company or the individual that you're working with, you know, managing a contact list, maybe doing some data entry, you know, organizing and managing calendars. I mean, this is just basic administrative stuff that pretty much anyone can do. So again, there's no major skills that are involved, but it's a very high in demand job because as businesses grow, they need assistance to take on more menial tasks so the business owner or the company can focus on bigger tasks that are going to generate them more revenue. So that's where you come in as a virtual assistant to really help them basically stay organized within the company and just do tasks that they're not able to do anymore. And the median pay for a virtual assistant is around $40,000. Now, the next one on the list is actually Amazon, and I got really specific with this one because I had no idea Amazon had a whole like blown remote job board. Like literally there's a website, and I'm gonna link it down below for you guys. There's a website that Amazon has that literally lists all their different remote jobs, and I thought that was really cool. And there are so many different jobs on this website. Jobs range from anywhere from customer service to account management, software management, product management, fulfillment and operations, IT and support engineering. I mean, these jobs are like, there's so many different jobs, and obviously you can get paid for these different jobs. There's a range from anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000 plus. So you can get into a, you know, a average salary job, or you can get into a 6-figure job within Amazon using this, you know, remote job board that they have available. And I thought that was really, really good. If you think about working at Amazon, you're probably thinking about like the delivery drivers and working in the warehouse, but obviously Amazon being like $1 billion company, of course Amazon has so many different operations and so many different positions that they need to fulfill and that need to be handled on the back end, not just, you know, the packages and everything. So it's really interesting to me. I've never seen this until I actually did the research on it. So make sure you guys check that out if you're interested. I mean, I'm not affiliated with it, but you know, that would be pretty cool. And another good thing about Amazon that I definitely wanted to mention is that they typically have some type of tuition reimbursement program. Like I always see Amazon commercials talking about how, you know, this person got their master's, or like this person was able to pay this off, you know, with the help of Amazon. So definitely look into it. Now, the next job that we have on the list is actually a proofreader. Now, a proofreader is obviously, we know, a person who will check the text and pretty much before it's printed or published, make sure that everything is correct. And again, I always mention like there is competition with artificial intelligence, but no artificial intelligence is perfect. Again, use it to enhance what you're doing. So for example, there is a program out there called Grammarly, pretty popular program. Even I use it, especially for my blog articles, but that is something that you can utilize. You'll probably utilize within a job to make faster corrections to documents to be able to check if the text is accurate. So as a proofreader, you'll basically check the spelling and grammatical errors. You'll end up making sure that like words and sentences actually flow. That's the important part because AI can't do that. AI is not sophisticated enough to critically think to make sentences actually make sense sometimes. So that's where the proofreader will come in. And this is another job where as a mother, you don't need to be on the phones. You don't need to be talking to many people. You're pretty much gonna be behind your computer doing your thing. So I think that's a really simple job that pretty much any mother can get into and just start working right away. And the median pay for this type of job is about $43,000. So I think that's a good starting point. And if any of you mothers out there that are watching that are getting value from this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more uploads. So let's get into the 5th job. Now this one I was actually kind of jealous of when I thought about it because I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier. As you guys know that I used to do real estate. I'm still involved in real estate, but not as heavily as I was before as an agent. So this 5th job is actually a real estate transaction coordinator. And I got this idea because I was watching an interview with this lady and she was basically saying how she loved real estate so much and she wanted to figure out how to stay in it, you know, as a mother, but she was on the agent side just like me. And I tell you what, the agent side of things, you're working nights and weekends. Those are the main hours that people are available to see houses and, you know, discuss things with houses. So it's really, really hard, especially for mothers, especially I couldn't even imagine doing it as a newborn, which is with a newborn, which is why I pivoted, because I know I wanted to start a family soon. So being a real estate transaction coordinator is actually a really good alternative, still helping agents and investors, but you're the one that's handling the paperwork. And I didn't think about this because even when I was an agent, I did have a transaction coordinator, but I mean, he wasn't charging me much. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't do all that paperwork for, you know, this small amount of money that I'm paying him, but it was worth it for me. And obviously it was worth it for him because he was charging a couple different people the same price, but you know, he was getting paid his worth because I mean, he had a lot of clients. But I thought to myself, I would never want to be a transaction coordinator because you're dealing with all the paperwork. That's literally why I paid him to do it, because I didn't want to touch the paperwork when I was an agent. So thinking about it from this point of view, wanting to still be involved in real estate, I think being a transaction coordinator is a great alternative for mothers who are interested in real estate because you can do all that stuff from home. Obviously, it's not the most fun part about dealing with real estate, but I mean, if you have a good amount of clientele, and you can do this for a job, so don't get this confused. I'm not trying to push you guys to do it independently, but you could be a real estate transaction coordinator specifically for a brokerage, so you have that opportunity as well. But it'll be so simple because all you're doing is making sure the paperwork between the buyer, seller, and the agents are fulfilled. As you may or may not know, there's a ton of paperwork that goes into each real estate deal, and it's your job to basically facilitate all the paperwork between the buyer, seller, and the agents on both sides. So basically, you're the one that's helping the transaction like close very smoothly, because sometimes the paperwork gets lost in translation. Sometimes the seller doesn't fill out this one particular portion of the paperwork, or the buyer doesn't fill this out. And so like as an agent, you're like running around like crazy trying to get them to do these little things while you're still taking on your other clients. So the transaction coordinator, you're the one that pretty much crosses the T's and dots the I's with the paperwork, or helps the clients cross the T's and dot the I's, basically making sure all the paperwork is good to go. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think being a real estate agent is great for mothers, especially new mothers. You know, maybe if you're farther along and your kids are out the house and you have less responsibility per se, then maybe. But if you're going to be in real estate, I think being a transaction coordinator is a great way to go if you're a mother. And the median pay for this is around $46,000. And also, if you guys want a video about why specifically I decided to stop being a real estate agent, then make sure you drop a comment down below and let me know, and I'll create a whole video for you guys. I even thought about doing a live to kind of talk to you guys about why, you know, I decided not to continue to go that route. But if you're not interested, it's fine. But if you are, let me know in the comments. So the next job on the list is being a recruiting coordinator. Now, I thought this was really interesting because I didn't even know this was a thing until I started being contacted by recruiting coordinators on LinkedIn when I was actually looking for a job. And I thought it was really interesting because one recruiting coordinator actually reached out to me, and the job was about being a recruiting coordinator. And the pay actually seems pretty good. They had a pretty average base salary of around like $40,000 to $50,000. This was for this one particular company, with the commission of being able to, the more people you recruit into the company or recruit into other companies, the higher commission that you would get, well into the six figures. I thought that was a really interesting opportunity. So basically, as I was mentioning, your responsibility as a recruiting coordinator is to find and attract and hire new employees. You may not be the one hiring, you're more of the one like looking for the good people to bring into the companies, but you're basically your role is to fill the positions or open positions in different companies. You'll be the one pretty much posting on the job boards, posting positions on the job boards, finding people, probably doing like a first interview and then pushing them on to like another interview with somebody within that company. So you're doing like the beginning stages of the recruiting process. Now, this is a job where you probably do have to talk to people, but I would say it's probably not as much as like maybe like a customer service job, because you're trying to get like the best of the best talent for each company. So you'll probably have, like I said, your introductory calls, but that'll be it. And I really like any opportunity or any job position that gives you the opportunity to build a commission or earn a commission, because sometimes just having a salary, it's just kind of, you know what your ceiling is, but if you have the ability to make a commission, then you know that you have a bit of an incentive to work a little bit harder. And the median pay for a recruiting coordinator is about $45,000. And that is just the base salary, so that's not including commissions. Now, I gotta be biased for this last one, but the last job on this list is being a digital marketer. I think this is a great opportunity for mothers because specifically in my job as a digital marketing specialist, specifically a pay-per-click specialist, I don't have to get on the phone too much, honestly. But before I dive into that, basically what a digital marketer does is they create paid campaigns that will basically drive awareness and drive traffic to eventually get conversions for a business. And they do this through digital channels such as a company's website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, all these different websites, whether it be paid search or paid social. The digital marketer's job is to basically use these channels and drive as much traffic as possible to turn into conversions for a company. So basically, I love this for mothers because, and I can speak directly from my experience with this, is that like I really love how like my day-to-day activities is really just focusing on the optimization of campaigns, the creation of campaigns. You know, as I mentioned, my goal is to build the awareness of a business more and more and more so they can get more leads and get more conversions. So my day-to-day, some days are meeting heavy, but they're not too, like I have probably like 2 days out of the week where I'm like on meetings a lot. But other than that, I really think this will be a good position for me to have while I have my baby, which is why I was kind of after this position. I did things very strategically, guys. Like I knew I wanted to start a family. I was like, well, can't really be an agent because I don't want to be out nights and weekends. So let me try to get a remote job. What's a remote job that can kind of pay me well? So yeah, so far I really enjoy the flexibility in my job in terms of being able to step away from the computer when I need to. Obviously, you know, to do the little things like, you know, use the bathroom or get a snack or do whatever I really need to do, making sure I get back to my computer and get my tasks done for the day. So I really appreciate that flexibility in my job, and I'm hoping that that will really translate when I do have the baby. Now, obviously, I don't plan to have the baby with me at every waking moment because you probably can't get as much done at that point. Now, I'm gonna be a new mother, so I don't really know how much flexibility I'll have to be able to work with the baby. But thankfully, I'm gonna have the help of my mother, which will be really, really helpful. So I don't know how that dynamic will work, you know, having the baby and working. As I said, I don't think it's gonna be that great. I think it's more so gonna be like, you know, my mom's gonna have the baby and then I'll check in every few minutes or whatever, or every few hours, probably like every hour. So we'll see how that dynamic works. But again, I think it's just, when it comes down to it, is the flexibility to like still be here in the same house, in the same building, at times the same room as the baby, as opposed to like having to work in an office setting and not really know what's going on at home with the baby, or just being, you know, I think it's just better to be here. So yeah, the flexibility in my schedule is amazing, and I think that'll really help when it comes to the point where I do have the baby. So, and again, this is a position where you can work full-time within a company, or you can take the skills and you can freelance or build your own business. And the median pay for a digital marketer is around 50 to 60,000, obviously with the ability to grow your income. So if any of you guys are interested in the digital marketing career path, I will leave a few links down below for you guys to check out. It'll be an interview on how I got into digital marketing, so you understand the full story. And I'll leave a link to the program that I actually used to help me get a digital marketing job in 3 months. So if you guys are interested in that path, make sure you check it out. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking you have no idea how to get started to become a stay-at-home mom. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be dropping a lot of more videos on how to actually get into remote work. But it's pretty simple. All it takes is for you guys to really build these skills that companies value and that are in demand. Start building a portfolio so you can get some experience, whether it be through freelancing or maybe, you know, taking on like random family member clients to start doing these different pieces of work for. But it really doesn't take much, you know. Start creating your own projects once you do decide on which skill that you want to learn more about. Eventually you'll feel confident to start interviewing at places, and I'm sure you will land a job. It's really not hard. A lot of it is about, like I said, building your skills, having the confidence to interview, and just really going after it. And as a mother, having a remote job is really, really great. I mean, it saves me so much on just time. I know that I'm gonna be able to spend more time with the baby because I won't be spending that time traveling in traffic or, you know, going to work or coming back from work. It'll save me with gas. It'll save me with money. You know, I'm learning a great skill that I can eventually do on my own independently if I decide to ever do that. And it's honestly gonna make it a lot easier for me to pretty much handle my motherly and wifely duties because I am able to save on that time. So I can kind of, you know, if I need to make a meal during lunchtime, I can do that, or I don't have to rush home after work to try to, you know, make a meal for my husband or my child because I'll already be here. So there's a lot of really good perks to, you know, working a job from home, working a remote job as a mother. If you guys like this video, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and let me know in the comments which jobs actually piqued your interest. And as I said earlier, one income from your job is too close to no income, so you really want to use this as a catapult to now to start to try to build some wealth and build other sources of income. So I'm going to leave a video down below about how you can start building wealth with the job job the same way that I'm doing it. So you guys make sure to check that out right here.